There's a pattern I see again and again with first-time CEOs. It's not a lack of intelligence, it's not a lack of ambition, and it's definitely not lack of effort. In fact, it usually shows up because they care deeply about getting things right. They're very smart and they have a lot of ambition. The most common misstep I see in first-time CEOs is this: trying to personally solve everything instead of designing how decisions get made. First-time CEOs, more often than not, come from being the best operator in the room. They built the product, they closed the first customers. They know the details better than anyone else. So when complexity increases, their instinct is to lean in more and harder. They answer every question, they review every decision and every deal. They stay deeply involved because that's what worked before. The problem is, the company outgrows that model fast. At first, this looks like commitment, but over time, it creates friction. Decisions bottleneck at the CEO. Teams wait instead of acting. Executives second guess because authority feels kind of unclear. The CEO becomes exhausted, not because they're ineffective, but because the role quietly shifted and no one updated the operating model. And the organization starts to slow down, even though everyone feels like they're working harder. So what's the cost? It's burnout. It's dependency. When leaders solve instead of design, teams stop developing judgment. They optimize for approval instead of outcomes. So that's when execution feels heavy and hard. Leader feels stretched really thin, and decisions take forever. Ironically, the CEO ends up further from the work that actually matters for the CEO to own because they're buried in decisions that they shouldn't be making anymore. So, what have I seen work well? Well, the strongest CEOs make this critical shift. They stop being the answer and they start being the architect. They focus on clear decision rights, explicit ownership, principles that guide judgment. They ask the right questions like, who should own this? What context do they need to decide well? What would success look like without my involvement? And no, this isn't abdication. It's leadership at scale. So if you're a first-time CEO or working for one, here's the question I recommend asking. Are you solving problems or building the system that solves them? Letting go doesn't mean caring less. It means designing a company and a culture that can move without having to have you in every room. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to explore more, you can find other videos here on leadership, growth, and the signals that startups tend to miss.